And now we are joined alongside by Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol, great to see you. We are 9 days away until you step inside the ring and look to make history when you square off against Terence "Bud" Crawford. What does this mean to you?
It means a lot. This is what I worked for my whole career. To be the first ever undisputed welterweight champion of the world and facing a great opponent like Terence Crawford.
How much are you looking forward to this moment? Because 2 years ago, you were slated to fight the great Manny Pacquiao. One thing you've always said to me is that you've always wanted your big Las Vegas moment where you're headlining. Now, fast forward less than 2 years from that, and you're going to be taking on Terence "Bud" Crawford with a lot more on the line, and history could be made for you.
I feel like this is what it's about. I mean, I'm fighting the best. It's something that I've been wanting for a long time. You see guys like Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Hagler, Duran, all those guys. Even the Four Kings era, they've all fought each other, and they made historic fights because the best fought the best. And that's something I want to do regardless, even if it wasn't no belts on the line. I feel like Terence is one of the best fighters in the world. I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and we had to make this happen.
With the level of opposition that you have in front of you on Saturday, July 29th against Terence Crawford, does that make you get that much more focused? Does it amp up the training, or is it just business as usual?
It's definitely business as usual, but it's amped up the training just because the opponent that I'm facing, and I know his accolades, and I know, he can really fight, and I feel like we're going to put on a great show and a great performance.
Before I turn it over to the media for questions, as you're getting ready for this mega matchup, the world is talking about it. I know that Terence Crawford's kids were asking him when he's going to fight you. I'm sure your family is all excited about this. But are you feeling the buzz from the worldwide media? Because I feel like everybody's talking about this matchup 9 days from now.
I'm definitely feeling the buzz. I've been feeling the buzz. I go to the store, go anywhere, and the first thing someone asks me is when me and Terence Crawford going to fight. So I knew it was a fight that, I had to make happen. Both of us had to make happen because this is what the public definitely wanted. This is what everybody wanted. This is what I wanted. This is what he wanted. And basically to prove who is the man at the welterweight division. Not only the man at the welterweight division, but who is the man in boxing.
Is this for best pound for pound, you think? You think the winner of this fight will be known as the best pound for pound fighter on the planet?
Definitely. The winner of this fight will be the best fighter in boxing, period.
All right, now I'm going to turn it over to the media for questions. Errol, I'm going to hold the mic for you and allow the media to ask you questions as Mitch from Showtime will go ahead and make sure to go ahead and give us your media and ask the question.
Andreas here with the Sport News. Errol, you mentioned that this fight could be a dog fight. Would you be disappointed if it was one-way traffic one way or another, or do you want to make history of having one of the best fights in welterweight history?
I definitely won't be disappointed if it's just a one-way traffic with me watching them. But if it is a great fight, then I wouldn't be disappointed at that either because, it's something that people talk about for decades.
My follow-up to that is, if this fight happened 3 years ago, do you think the result would be different? Because are you better than you were 3 years ago, or what do you think?
I couldn't tell you how the fight would play out if it happened 3 years ago. It'd probably play out the same day it play out Saturday night.
Hi, Errol. Cynthia from Best Women's Boxing Show, period.
Hello.
I asked Bomac yesterday, out of all the fights, when they do tape study, which one of your fights would be the one that shows you're an all-around fighter, and that's the Crawford, that's the fight that they're going to see in the ring with Crawford. He said you are a media-driven fighter. He blamed all of us, PBC and everyone else. Do you have a response to that?
No, I don't have a response to it. I do use negativity as motivation, but, it is what it is. No, I don't have a response to it.
Hey, what's up, Errol?
What up?
You and Crawford are involved in the fight of the decade, maybe even in the sense of the generation. But recently, Sports Illustrated put Jake Paul on the cover of their magazine instead of you guys. What do you think about that?
That's their priority. That's what they want to do. Hey, I can't knock it, man. I can remember last time I bought a Sports Illustrated magazine, so I don't know.
Errol, Sam Gordon here, Las Vegas Review-Journal. your quest for undisputed. You've beaten 3 title holders. If you beat Terence, that'd be the 4th. Nobody else who's captured undisputed has gone through 4 belt holders to do it. What do you think has just been the unique part of the challenges that have come with your journey, and how fulfilling is it to go about it that particular way, in a way that nobody else has?
Basically, like you stated, just the come up with me being one champion, me being the next champion. Like every belt that I took for somebody, So that's basically it right there. That I'm beating champion after champion after champion after champion. I'm not just fighting one person and he has the belts and I'm beating him. I'm going through the ringer, fighting the best guys in my division who hold belts and beating them. I feel like it's a big difference when you face a champion than you face him when he's not a champion, because he got more to fight for when he has a belt.
Questions, guys? Anybody else? Questions?
Eli Sagbek, yes, News. Quick question. What does it mean everyone thinks they could swim until they get in the water?
It basically, you basically said it. Everybody think they can swim until they get in the water. So, you start getting tired. You know how hard swimming is. Start getting tired, you start sinking, and you might drown. Stacy right here, you see him. He's trying to keep his head above water and his other sharks. So that's basically what it means. Everybody think they can swim until they get in the water and they trying to paddle to survive.
Questions?
Errol, we got a chance to look at Terence yesterday, and you do look like definitely the physically bigger welterweight. How much does that factor into this fight?
I wouldn't know how much you factor into it until we get in the ring. They say he's a strong guy, so we definitely see next week.
Hey, Errol. When it comes to preparing for this fight and Terence's style and the problems that he presents, what fighters would you say, in your experience, will actually kind of help you with preparing for Terence Crawford?
I don't think it's anybody to help prepare me for Terence Crawford, just because his style is different from everybody else. It's just like saying, when Ray Leonard fought Tommy Hearns, what style would help him for Tommy. I don't think he fought anybody like Tommy until he fought Tommy, and there's vice versa. So same thing with Ali and Joe Frazier. So I feel like this is the first time that I'm fighting somebody with this type of style that Terence Crawford has.
Errol, this is the first time since your fight with Kell Brook that you're kind of back and forth as an underdog, especially as the headliner. How does it feel like to be seen as an underdog by a lot of people in the fight that you're headlining?
I really don't care. He's headlining too. So, I really don't care. It is what it is. People have opinions. So it's time just to prove them wrong.
Errol, if I can, how do you deal with it when Crawford switches? Like, what are the keys for you to be able, when he switches stances, what are the things you need to accomplish?
It's basically the same. I just got to pay attention to when he switches. It's basically the same thing as if he switched to southpaw. Same thing as me fighting the southpaw. If he switched to orthodox, the same thing as me fighting the orthodox fighter. Just the way you recognize when he switches. The biggest motivation for me is just to win. I feel like that's the most valuable motivation. If you don't have that motivation, it's to win, be successful, be the undisputed, and take care of my family.
Is the family part like the deepest motivation? Like, I know to win is something, it's sport, but is there anything deeper? Is it like the family part? Like, hey, this fight makes it so that my kids and my grandkids are okay?
I feel like that's the only thing that's more important. Winning is cool. Of course, we want to win. We don't want anybody better than us, especially another man. But to be able to take care of your family, especially for the rest of your life, and make sure they're good when they get older, that's a different type of flex. And a lot of people need to focus on that. And that's just my opinion about this fight and future fights in that aspect, because when I got into my crash, it made me focus on different things and putting things in perspective. And the main thing that I wanted to perspective was to, take care of my family.
Would you say that makes you more dangerous of a fighter now?
It definitely makes you more dangerous because it gives you motive. So it definitely makes you more dangerous of a fighter.
Hey, Errol. Alan Dawson. We were speaking to Terence Crawford yesterday, and he was saying that he thinks he could beat you in any sport, not just boxing. Now that it gets to this part in the promotion, are there things in him that you admire, like just how competitive he is and how competitive he wants to make this fight?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what makes a great champion. I mean, you wouldn't ask Kobe or AI or anybody else or LeBron. You ask them, you say you could beat him in this, they're going to say yeah. So that's just his competitive nature. He just want to be the best, and, he think he can beat somebody in anything. That's the same with me.
And now we are going to have a couple of final words with Errol Spence Jr. Errol, how was your workout? I mean, I don't even think there is an ounce of fat on you. My goodness, you look absolutely shredded. Is this the best in shape that you've ever felt heading into a prize fight?
It's at the top. It's definitely at the top. The best shape I've been. Just had to make a lot of sacrifices just to make the weight, and everything's been going good. Everything's been going to the plan, to the T. Working with my nutritionist, dietitian to get down to the weight. We've been doing our thing.
I know you're very close with your father, and what does him being here, and he's, very, quiet, subdued, but he's always around you and helping you out. How much do you and your father just share this bond? Not only father and son, but he's also a very big part of your camp as well.
Yeah, I basically call him my shadow because he's behind me, but he always, making sure I'm good. He always watching. He always on point. He's not talking much, but he always keeps his eyes open and always paying attention. And that's what, I feel like every fighter needs, somebody who's out for your best interest. And I started this with him, and he didn't know where I was going to be. He didn't know I was going to get to this point. He didn't even know I was going to be good. And, he sacrificed a lot, to get me to this point and bring me to the gym after working graveyard shifts and coming home 11 o'clock, getting 3-4 hours of rest. And I come home from school, we going to the boxing gym. He was doing that for years, so I was able to drive, and he still saved me to the gym. He still saved me to the gym today. He still come to my house and pick me up.
So he picked you up today?
Oh, man, he picked me up every day. Like,
oh, wow.
When I'm at home, he still takes me to the gym to this day. I'm 33 years old, and he still comes to my house, pick me up, and we go to the gym. We've been doing it since day one.
I know you're very proud. You're obviously fighting here in Las Vegas, but they love you in Dallas. I mean, that's your hometown. You're from DeSoto, Texas. You're a diehard Dallas Cowboys fans. You fought at AT&T Stadium several times, had nearly 40,000 fans in your fight against your Dennis Ugas, nearly 50,000 when you fought Mikey Garcia. But how much, love and support are you getting from those down in Dallas? And if you want to especially send out a message to those that support you in the Lone Star State.
I begin, tremendous amount of support from Dallas, just for Texas. And I thank you for the support. Thank you for everything. And it's been on my conscience. I've been getting support from them for a long time now. So, I'm not a normal person anymore. And, as much as I want to be a normal person, and I try to be a normal person, I'm not a normal person. So, it's time for me to, basically, give back to my community, do stuff in my community, and be more outspoken and just be out there more. So that's something I'm going to make a conservative effort of doing, when I get home, and just be in the community more and try to serve the community more.
If Terence Crawford is watching this right now, what message do you want to give to him as you guys prepare to enter Fight Week next week here in Las Vegas ahead of your July 29th showdown on Showtime pay-per-view?
I don't have no message for him. It's going to be a war. I got a message for the fans. Everybody make sure you tune in to his fight. It's going to be amazing, legendary fights. If you've seen fights like Ali, Joe Frazier, Ray Leonard, Hearns, Ray Leonard, all those type fights, you definitely want to tune into his fight. This fight is going to be a war. It's going to be a war of nutrition. This is the fight you definitely want to see. If you was an ex-fan or a fan now, or you just a casual, you definitely want to tune into this fight. It's going to be a straight-out war, guts and glory type fight.
You heard it from the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF welterweight champion of the world, Errol Spence Jr. Good luck, Errol. We'll see you next week here in Las Vegas.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Errol Spence Jr. concluding his workout. We will see you next week as we go ahead and continue here with Fight Week with Errol Spence Jr. As we go ahead and Errol, real quick before I let you go, you talk about strap season. You went ahead and overseas beating Kell Brook for the IBF title. You beat Sean Porter for the WBC title. You beat Ugas for the WBA title. Now, what would it mean for you to capture the WBO title by beating probably your biggest nemesis to date in Terence Crawford?
It means a lot. I'm not gonna say it means everything, but it means a lot to beat Terence Crawford, and basically cement my name in boxing because I'll be the first undisputed welterweight champion of the world. I think I'm the first undisputed champion who beat everybody, beat every person that had a belt. I beat them. So it'd be the fourth person with a belt in my weight class that I beat to become undisputed. And despite everything that I've been through, I always stuck to my game plan. I always stuck to my word, and I told everybody, basically what I was going to do. And after I get those belts, I was going to come take Terence Crawford shit too. And this is what I'm doing come July 29th.
Who came up with the design of the T-shirts? Because the whole strap season T-shirt, very unique, and I find it to be quite comical.
I came up with the Rolling Blunt shirt, but almost all the credit goes to Jordan Isom. He's a guy that don't have really no experience doing this, but he makes up the shirts. He get them printed out, and he sends them out to everybody. He does his thing. So much love and respect to my boy Jordan. It's one of my best friends. It's my guy, and I trust him with my life.
All right, Errol, appreciate it. Good luck. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Errol Spence Jr. joining us here